Alright, so we have a probability question here. There's no diagram. You have to kind of think for yourself what's going to happen. You're given some information, so bag A, how many counters are in that, bag B and C. And then what we actually want to find out is a probability that there are now more black counters than white in bag C. So I'm kind of thinking backwards on this. So the probability that there are now more black than white in C. So if you look at C, the same at the moment. So because what's happening, Bernie has taken a random counter from A and putting it in B, then, so there's only one into B, an extra one, then picking one from B and putting it into C. Okay, and that's it. And puts the counter into bag C. Okay, now, so all you really need to think about is that to get there to be more black counters in C, the one picked from bag B has to be black, and then it'll go into there, and there'll be 6 black, 5 white. So it's the only situation you can have where the black, it's got to be picked. The black counter has to be picked from bag B. Okay, it kind of doesn't matter about bag A, what's picked. But we do need to obviously look at the probability of A and then B, etc. So how we would do this, so there's 4 things that could happen. You could get a white counter and then another white counter. Now that would not effectively give me an extra black counter in C. It would actually give me another white one. So it would be 6 white, 5 black. So that would not work. You could get a white and then a black. So you get a white from A and then a black from B. Well, if you get a black from B into here, yes, you'll have 6. So that will. You could have black then white. Again, this black counter here, the fact that you've picked a black here and then a white, that doesn't help. So you would not have to have another white in bag C. And the last one would be black, then black. Okay, and that would satisfy the an extra black counter in bag C. Okay, now we need to look at the probabilities of all of these happening. So we don't need to really worry about the ones where we don't need them. You can work them out if you want to, and then work out that they will add up to 1. But I'm just going to work out the ones that we need. So white and black, the probability of that is going to be 4 out of 10. There's 4 white counters out of 10 in total. So it's a 4 of 10 chance. I'm multiplying that by, and if you've picked up a white and put it into bag B, you're not only going to have 1 extra counter in here, so now it would be 11 counters. So the denominator will be 11. The amount of black counters doesn't go up because you've picked a white, the first choice, and so the 7 stands. And so the probability of doing that is going to be 28 over 110. Okay, just timesing. Probability is all about timesing that and that happening, so you're timesing. Alright, black then black happening, so there are 6 black counters in the first one out of 10. And if you pick a black out the first bag A and put it into B, you're increasing the black counters in there. So therefore, it won't be just 7, it'll be 8. Okay. Alright, so now you have two things, so that and that happening, so you're multiplying it across. And then obviously there's 2 ways of doing that, 2 ways of there being a black counter extra in the bag C. So you're just going to add the probabilities. So there's lots of things that could go wrong in this sort of situation. Many people would forget that you're picking one up and putting it in there, so that goes up. We're quite used to having that, picking it out and then it's reducing. This is slightly different. That's why this is one of the last questions on this. It actually is the last paper on this mock paper, last question. Because a lot of people, there's lots of traps here. And obviously we're just going to add these up. So it should be 76 over 110. And you can just keep it like that or reduce it down because you can half that. Probability questions will be given an or equivalent, so you shouldn't need to worry too much about it. So okay, and that's that question done. So the probability of having more black counts than white counts in bag C is 38 over 55.